Hi guys, so we have a very different video planned for you today. It's don't make your van too comfortable. And that's completely opposite of most of the videos that you'll see made about van life and your van conversions. So basically stay with us. You'll understand what our reasoning is and why we're saying not to make your van too comfortable. So especially if you're new to the van life, it might be super tempting to make your van or RV more comfortable. Basically, you're used to having certain things that you're not gonna have in a basic van. But what do you really need in life? Basically, you need certain things. You need the meeting of your physical, mental, and emotional needs. And if you have that, you have enough. Now, if you go overboard, you can actually start affecting some of those physical, mental, and emotional needs by having a van build that's too expensive, or by worrying about a broken water heater or a water pump, or requiring more solar to meet your needs for your microwave or your high-speed blender or your espresso machine. So you can actually adversely affect your freedoms by making your van too comfortable. But you can also affect them in many other ways. So 200 years ago, men used to be in the fields and farms. And we moved from that lifestyle to factories and offices nowadays. We've moved from waking up at dawn and going outside until dusk and then going to sleep, to spending a majority of our daylight hours outside in the elements, to now 90% of people, according to the EPA, spending 22 hours indoors. Americans are spending 93% of their life indoors, 87% in buildings, and 6% in automobiles. 7% of their time outdoors. That's 90 minutes a day. And that could actually, that's average. So that could actually mean you don't go outside all week long. Or if you do, it's like a half an hour here or there while you're waiting for the bus to go to your building. To like all of that 90 minutes a day being combined together on one day that you go out to the beach or a park. Is that life? So we totally want to encourage you to not fall into this trap, or your van prison, so to speak, like the majority of Americans have willingly. So I just also want to say that I'm using the term Americans, but really what I'm talking about is this is the same scenario in pretty much all of the developed nations. We've all moved this direction. So when I'm saying Americans, I'm actually meaning anyone in any of the developed nations. We have essentially traded sunshine for the glow of screens and lights. We've traded the green of fields and forests for gray, black roads, sidewalks, and buildings, if we do go outside, or the typical white walls of the buildings that we live and work in. We've traded fresh air outside for indoor, recycled, polluted, toxic air. That's 5 times worse than the supposed polluted air outside. We've traded fresh food that's minimally processed and local for prepared food, processed, and being in a rush many times, even being microwaved to just heat it up for ourselves. And who knows where that food's from, or how it was cleaned, processed, etc. We've basically moved from the freedom to fish or watch a brook or animals out in nature, just listen to the wind in the trees, to being imprisoned at home. Our thoughts and opinions influenced by all the media that we watch on our huge screen TVs. or on our little handheld devices. Basically, we're always on mentally. And looking at that little handheld screen is basically keeping us at a fight or flight response at all times, which everyone knows is not healthy because it disrupts our natural cycles and hormones. So we used to spend our days outside working with others in unison from dawn to dusk, in the elements. So getting that sunshine, the air, getting our bodies acclimatized to the weather, meeting all our physical requirements with the exercise that we pay to gyms now. Let's not forget about the bonding that used to happen as we worked together with each other. Staving off mental conditions such as depression and bipolar disorder, seasonal affective disorder, and loneliness, which is at epidemic levels now. We've traded that to be segregated and isolated, lowering our lifespan and decreasing our longevity. We're increasing our physical and mental health risks to percents and amounts that are crazy. We think we're so healthy and we're not. We've decreased our ability to deal with stressful situations, and we have increased problems processing information. Being able to deal with our emotions, making decisions, controlling our own behaviors, and having interpersonal interactions. Let's take a lesson from nature. Eagles build their nests, and they use some very unusual materials when they build their nests. They use branches that have thorns. They even use rocks in their nests. And then they line that nest that they've made with the feathers and fur of their prey. Now they lay their eggs, and the eaglets are born, and they start getting bigger. As time is increasing and it's getting time to leave the nest, the parents start removing the comforts, those feathers and fur, and throwing them out of the nest. They actually even change the structure of the nest on the inside, making it more and more uncomfortable with sticks pointing out so that the eaglets don't want to stay there. Now the parents have knowledge. They know that it's not a safe place for the eaglets to stay in the nest, and that they need to actually live their lives. And the way they do that is that the parents basically kick them out of the nest, and they all go on and live their lives and have experiences. That's how we need to live life. So why do we want to get outside more? How about this? To protect our circadian rhythms, our natural rhythms, to prevent sleep disorders, obesity, diabetes, depression, and more. We want to get outside to improve our short-term memory and restore our mental energy. It's a stress reliever, and there's actually a thing called forest therapy that our professionals use. We want to reduce inflammation in our body and give ourselves better vision. We want to improve our concentration, giving us sharper thinking and creativity. It has anti-cancer effects as well as an entire immune system boost. It improves our mental health and reduces the risk of early death. Meeting up and talking with others improves our entire life experience. So don't make your van or RV too comfortable that you're not going to want to get out of it. Basically, bottom line is you want it comfortable enough to meet your basic needs, that you get sleep, you can have a place to cook, and bring the items that you need along. A few clothes, cleanliness items, things like that. But you don't want too much. Remember our minimalism or our living tiny in a tiny home video that I put the link down below. Now, it's super, super important that if you want to get the most out of this lifestyle, that you don't try to replicate that life that you're trying to leave. You want the freedom, you want the adventure, and you want the experiences in life. That's what van life is really all about, gaining those things. And in addition, by living out of your vehicle and not in it all the time, you're basically going to increase your health, physically, mentally, and emotionally to the level that you didn't think was possible anymore. So we hope that you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe and click that little bell so that you know when we post a video. Unfortunately, all the information out there says we need to be consistent and post things on certain days. However, with our health conditions, that's not always possible. So we try to do it as often as we can, try to gather all the information in a timely fashion. But if you click the little bell, you'll know when we post our new video. Thanks so very much. We really appreciate your support. And please give us your comments and feedback so we know how you're liking these videos. Take care.